on. Yo, what's good, people? It is currently 16 minutes past 10 p.m. UK time, Sunday, the 6th of July, 2025. Happy Sunday, happy Q3 2025, and welcome to another amazing episode of Technically Speaking, which is a free weekly crypto, stocks, and macro webinar hosted by myself, Fadlan Effendi, aka Ninja T, one of the founders of Blockchain Sensei. We are a blockchain and crypto education company. We also do consultations in the AI space. So, before I get started, I would like to say that this is a very interesting Zoom room right now because we've got a eclectic range of people. We've got somebody, I won't say their names, somebody in this Zoom room who's literally just started in crypto, so he's super excited. We've got Twin, aka KG Calm. You know the vibes. Make sure you check out Mastermind of the Sage. You know what I mean? Shuriken Sounds. You got. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who we are. Show. Yeah. He's been in the markets for many years. I called him today because he's somebody who's. I'm sorry to out him, but he's been in the markets for many years, but he's not been paying attention recently. Yeah, I won't say about what, but he's not been paying attention, and that worries me because that means the market has not shaken. It's not shaken Twin out. He's not scared. But up until today's phone call, I don't think Twin
Been a
understood
bit
the urgent.
frustrated and annoyed.
Yeah. But we're not here. We're here to know the data sets. Yeah, and the data is saying. I'm just gonna give you guys a straight juicy spill. Yeah, I expect the market to bleed. I don't know how far, I don't know for how long, right? In Q3, in a range of a time period of 2 weeks to 8 weeks. I don't think we can be bearish for longer than 8 weeks. But I'm bullish on the quarter. Does that make sense? 31st of September. This has been one of the most challenging markets ever. And if you are, oh, sorry, then we've got someone in between, someone who I've been mentoring for the past 6 months. Yeah, so I'm going to make this webinar useful for people who have been in the markets for a long time and are paying attention. So I might say some things that go over everyone in this Zoom room's head, potentially. But I'll make sure I've got some beginner gems and then some for the intermediate. So let's get it. Before I get started, I would like to say that nothing in this video is financial advice. I do not intend to be perceived or received as financial advisor. No shareholders within Blockchain Sensei are financial advisors. Nobody is accredited. I'll publicly say proudly that I don't have a degree and I am absolutely self-taught by the University of YouTube, basically. Now LLMs, Grok, ChatGPT, Claude. Do your own research. Be extremely pessimistic. The most important thing in this game is not making money, it's what? Protecting money. Risk management. You will absolutely make mistakes in this market. You will lose money in this market. It is impossible to not lose money in this market. What's important is not if or when you lose money, when you take drawdown in this market, it is mitigated, right? So, this is an urgent warning for everybody, including Twin and people who've been in the market but are now not paying attention, that it is time to pay attention. It is time to have an action plan of assets that you are looking to acquire at X prices, keyword being prices, as in if it gets the price that you want it, you buy it. Don't be sad if it draws down. Look at that as an opportunity. That's why you gotta, if you can't afford it 3 times, you can't afford it, right? Whatever the budget is for one investment, not financial advice, but according to wisdom in the world of investing, in which I am a lifelong student of, you should be able to buy something 3 times, right? So, for example, if the budget is $300, you'd be able to buy 100, 100, 100 on either the fall, the asset going sideways, or the pullback. So when it's rising and pulling back, and then you invest again. Okay, so yeah, you got to have an action plan, and the most important thing that everybody here can spend time doing is not actually endlessly trying to find contemporary information about the next thing that's going to go up, because I actually have a relatively bearish sentiment in the market for at least 2 weeks. Now, I could be absolutely wrong, and the market could fire up. I just need everybody to be well positioned. And what else do I want to say? Yeah, that's the main points. That's the main points I wanted to say on camera. Okay, let me turn off my camera. I'm going to turn off my camera. Turn off the camera and share the screen. Okay. By the way, to join this webinar, follow blockchain.sensei on Instagram, and the Zoom link is in the bio. Did I say it's every Sunday, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. UK time? Yeah. Anyway, find the replays on YouTube. Last week's episode was super dope. In fact, let me tell you guys a very quick story. The reason why I was looking fly as hell was because I just come from Calm's mum's 65th birthday. So yeah, that's why I was looking so fly on the previous episode. Okay, so come on. Legend has it that if you listen to music from the Shuriken Sounds ecosystem, your net worth may increase in the long term. But I don't know who said that. You hear about that, Calm?
I heard about it still. Folklore and that still. I heard about it still. Yeah, mate.
Yeah, get me.
I've seen a few people say, yeah, that's what's happened still. So it's like, damn, shit.
Damn.
You know? So it helps to listen out, you know?
So I want to start off with a quote from one of my professors. In fact, I'm thinking of doing changing the format of these webinars. I used to dive into extremely high level information first, like on-chain data and liquidity, and blow people's heads off. But to make this user friendly, I at least want the starting to have kind of like timeless knowledge, right? So a quote from my trading professor at the Real World: "The markets and life are not separate. The markets are the best reflection of human emotions that we have anywhere on the planet. The market, as in the price of publicly traded assets such as gold, oil, crypto, stocks, indexes, bonds, etc. The price, right? That's what they mean by the market, not like the fisher's market, not the car boot sale, the financial market, right? I'll start again. The markets and life are not separate. The financial markets are the best reflection of human emotions that we have anywhere on the planet. The collective mind of humans all across the globe is exposed through financial markets. The purest expression of what the world is thinking and most importantly doing. Right. Let me go straight to the chart. I'll go straight to the chart for those that are not dialed in. Right, I'm going to dial you in real quick. The global stock market is at all-time highs. There is more money in the stock market right now, in this exact moment in human history, than there ever was. We have had about $30 trillion injected into the stock market almost silently in the sense that this is not headline news, right? Between the space of the beginning of April and mid-July, if this was to enter into the crypto market, the whole market would 10x, and Bitcoin would be probably 1.5 to $2 million, right? If this happened if this kind of money went in crypto in the past 2.5 months. Obviously, it's not gonna work that way because there's regulations in place to stop that happening. And some people would become very wealthy. I don't know who, but some people would become wealthy. Too many people would become wealthy too quickly, and that's not what the Matrix wants. So the stock market is at all-time highs. Even the UK economy is at almost all-time highs. The all-time high was around my birthday. Yeah. It's actually quite funny that the UK stock market was at all-time highs around my birthday. Ninja's 30th. Right, so the pound sterling's been doing well. The S&P 500, the top 500 US tech stocks, are at all-time highs right now. Now, there is a metric. So CNN, for those that are not aware, is a big financial news outlet, and currently it's in extreme greed. However, interestingly, crypto, you can go to coinmarketcap.com. For the newbies, this is the most or one of the most popular cryptocurrency information and data websites in the world. Fear and greed index is on a nice yellow, as in it's in the middle. 1 second. Okay, this is good because it means we have a lot of space to go up, and if we go down, we don't have too far to pull down anyway. So whilst the global stock market is at all-time highs, the S&P 500, the top 500 US tech stocks, is at all-time highs. By the way, for the beginners, tradingview.com is the #1 website in the world for viewing charts and data. You just log in with your Gmail. You'll be able to do most things that I'm doing on this webinar yourself, except some fancy features that I may use. And then you can make it dark mode as well. Some people prefer the light mode, but I prefer the dark mode. Okay, so the Nasdaq, the top 100 US tech, is at all-time highs. So if you've not been dialed in, just dial in and know that right now in human history, the global stock market, the top 500 US tech, and the top 100 US tech, which includes Google, Meta, Facebook, Snapchat, etc., is at all-time highs. Okay. Yeah. The reason why this is important is because this is financial markets, right? I don't know what the most popular thing is in the world right now. In fact, let me ask Grok. I will live ask Grok. Do any of you guys use Grok? Twin, do you use Grok? Anyone use Grok? Stocks. Uh, Nasdaq are at all-time highs. ETC is at all-time high. Ethereum is prepped to send according to my research. But the world doesn't seem to care at large. In fact, most people seem to care more about Glastonbury. Where in the globe of human consciousness, where in the globe, this is Grok, by the way. This is why you have to have Twitter. This AI is better than ChatGPT in my experience for financial markets. Where in the globe of human consciousness is Bitcoin, crypto, Ethereum versus, say, music, sports? Can you give me some takeaway data sets? All right. I'm not some AI expert, by the way. I just talk to AI like it's. I just talk to it. That's it. I just like LLMs. I'm not some master prompter. Uh, it's not really giving me anything, is it? Okay, well, that was not helpful. Oh well. I was hoping I would get a good answer live on on the video call, but never mind. Okay, cool. What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Um, okay, so I've looked into it, and basically, there is going to be a new Genius Act by the Fed, so the Federal Reserve, America, the money printer, whereby they're gonna basically open up the liquidity portal for stablecoins, particularly USDC, and then basically make it easier for banks to funnel into USDC, which is very good for crypto if you want to look into it. Okay, what else? One of the biggest things as well, which I mentioned in the previous webinar last week, is that Pudgy Penguins intellectual property have been absolutely killing it because they were on Wall Street with a big mascot at the NASDAQ opening. So, like Google, Apple, Microsoft, etc. What is Pudgy Penguins? Pudgy Penguins is a huge intellectual property. They've got a meme coin called Pengu, which I'm definitely going to cover in the technical analysis. They've got an NFT collection called Pudgy Penguins and Low Pudgies. I'm a Low Pudgies owner. And they bought OpenSea, which is the biggest NFT platform in the world. Look at this shit, crazy, man, in Times Square. Yeah, huge opportunity in Pengu. I'm not saying buy Pengu right now. That's not me saying buy this or buy that. But I'm saying it's definitely a position that you want to look into at a good level. All right, I don't think I said anything too interesting on my Twitter. We'll definitely cover Dolan the meme coin within this webinar. We'll look at Dex Toro as well, which is like a decentralized trading platform. Let's see what important things I said on the Twitter. Okay. Old Chinese proverb, I hear and I forget. So you don't just want to listen to something. I see and I remember. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you're watching it, not just listening. I do and I understand. So that will be executing on the knowledge that you get. I teach and I master. This is why I do these webinars. First and foremost, for myself. Second of all, for my personal brand and Blockchain Sense's personal brand. So I have a portfolio. I turn up every Sunday, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. I give you guys game. Often I've stayed on this webinar till 1 a.m. in the morning. I've done 90-minute recordings and 90 minutes off recording. This is why we do this. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get this Zoom popping. Okay. Let's have a look at the tweets on Blockchain Sensei from the previous webinar was 7 days ago, and that was on the 29th. So everything above the 29th. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we got from here. Okay, so the most important person to follow on Twitter, even more important to follow than myself on Blockchain Sensei, if you want to stay on top of financial markets, I'll give it to my guy Thomas on markets. Okay, what has Thomas been saying since the 1st of July? Without blowing everybody's head off, I'm going to go deeper and deeper, but I am short-term bearish, mid-term bullish, and long-term motherfucking bullish. All right, so look. Like, I can even read it in Thomas's headlines. A cash avalanche is heading for stocks. This is bullish. Another 1 trillion in US debt incoming. A new form, well, to be fair, it's kind of bullish as well. Anyway, let's have a look at this article from 5 days ago. Okay. I'm sorry I didn't read this before, guys. It's been a really busy day. Okay, I'm just trying to see if there's anything really important. Guys, even though I'm skimming through this webinar real quick, try to deep the game that I'm giving you. I'm telling you the most important person to follow on Twitter, and then I'm giving you guys the trail. You know what I mean? You guys can run this through AI, but I'm just gonna live. He usually has a couple takeaways that's really important. But I'm trying to. I don't want to sit here and overread and waste you guys' time. So I'm gonna have to. Okay. This will cause volatility control funds to buy stocks and buy a lot of them. This will be predictive. These predictive flows will be systematic. As long as we don't see another period of volatility, the flows will come in. Just a relentless bid for stocks under pretty much any circumstance. Next month, the biggest 1 month volatility control flows ever predicted. Okay, no. Is there any outstanding information here? Volatility control funds are very likely to be buying substantial amounts of US stocks over the coming weeks. The only reason why this wouldn't happen is if we see another crazy period of volatility imminently, like, World War III, God forbid, which would cause 3 months realized volatility to remain high. This means we would likely see a relentless systematic bid for stocks in the coming weeks. While this doesn't guarantee stock prices will rise, it's a strong indication they will, with huge demand ahead. Interestingly, this coincides with our bullish macro backdrop we wrote about on Saturday. Okay, cool. I'm just going to skip straight to the wrapping up. There appears to be no political appetite among US policymakers to reduce debt levels. Debt and deficits just get bigger and bigger. However, the most important thing to watch, basically, when they push the debt ceiling, um, it forces the money printer. For those that don't know, there is what I like to call in the world a 3-to-1 debit to credit ratio. In fact, let me just double check with Grok. There is around $324 trillion of global debt. The debt. How much fiat is there? I believe it's around 110 trillion. Am I correct? Around. Global debt at 324 trillion far exceeds fiat currency in circulation because debt includes loans, bonds, and obligations. Yeah, and my $110 trillion of global fiat currency is plausible. So just understand there's way more, mind my language, motherfucking debt than cash. Like 3 times more. It's absolutely insane. And there's only $3 trillion in crypto, right? Okay, where were we? Okay, that's enough. Oh, I'm gonna quickly shout out my homie Unique Unice. Check out her YouTube. She's basically creating financial literacy content for kids. I'm working with her in the background, and yeah, she's been a client of mine for a long time. So I honestly just quickly shout her out. Okay. Let's see the latest from Thomas. Federal Reserve liquidity set to fall. There's a website that you can go on. It's clx.figisolutions.net. I go to this website every single day. I recommend that you go back to like 18th of Jan is cool. All you gotta know is that this is FedNet liquidity, so American dollars available to invest into the market. When this pumps, it's usually followed by assets pumping because there's literally money. There's literally more money to deploy into risk on assets. This is the TGA, which is the savings account. Typically has an inverse relationship with liquidity. So typically, when this rises, there is a decline in particularly risk on assets, i.e., stocks and crypto, which are the assets that we're most interested in here. And then the reverse repurchase agreement. All you're going to know is that at the end of the month, this usually spikes. That's been the seasonal trend as of this year, and usually um, it coincides with a short-term draining liquidity. So these are trends that may not continue in the future, but these are just informations and data sets that I've come to realize as a daily market practitioner. I digress. Back to Thomas. Fed liquidity, the Fed liquidity upswing that began on the 1st of January 2025 is now over. The US government had previously been draining the TGA, the Treasury General Account, which is a liquidity injection. Remember, if you take from the savings account and you add it into liquidity, that's an injection. If you take out liquidity, available money to invest, and put it into the savings, there's less money for risk on assets. This means the government will start to flood the market with new debt to refill the TGA, and that is a liquidity drain. And we'll see downward pressure on Fed liquidity from here. Like I said, short-term bearish. The current target TGA level is 850 billion, so that's roughly $500 million needed to refill the TGA. It's possible that the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent could lower the target level, meaning less of a refill. I'd expect we see a lot of T-bill issuance, so Treasury bill issuance, which could attempt some of the remaining $250 billion left in the reserve repurchase. This is this thing, the reverse repo, to leave the facility liquidity injection and lessen any negative impact on the TJ refill. Bank reserves as a percentage of GDP is likely to fall back. Okay. I don't want to blow everyone's heads off. No, now, everybody and their mothers are bearish on the dollar, and positioning is massively short across the board. It's time for, at the very least, an upward correction consolidation for the US dollar. So he's basically talking about a pullback. That's what he's talking about. So on your watch list, again, everything I'm doing right now, everyone has access to. This is free. This is TradingView. So a fundamental thing you got to understand is the DXY, which just measures the strength of the dollar. This has an inverse relationship to risk on assets. So I'm not talking the short term. I'm talking more mid to long term. Midterm. When I say midterm, I mean 3 to 6 months. Okay. When I mean long term, I'm talking about 6 months plus. That's what I mean. For reference. Okay. So in the medium and long term, okay, as this falls, the dollar falls. Risk on assets like BTC, which you're obviously very concerned with because it pumps out bags, yeah, goes up. Does that make sense? Look. Okay, now this is where we get fancy. Unfortunately, with the free version of TradingView, you can't do this. One second. All right. So the XY high was here, and the Bitcoin high was here. Now, did Bitcoin fall? Yes, Bitcoin did fall. But what happened between January and April? We had tariffs, yeah, and we had it was mainly tariffs, to be honest. It was mainly tariffs, right? So everything fell whilst the dollar fell as well. So this was very unexpected, where both the dollar and crypto and risk on assets fell. Okay, that's unlikely. But then ever since ever since it bottomed out, which is around here, the dollar's continued to fall in, and crypto's gone up, right? Remove all of this. Remove all of this. Remove all of this. So, where are we at? Yeah, what he's expecting is that he's expecting the DXY to go up a bit and get stronger as a little bit of faith is restored in America, the American market or whatever, right? Hopefully Donald Trump's calmed down and made peace with the Arabs and You know what I mean? We can all start making money. But as that dollar gets stronger, we will see a pullback in macro markets. Now let me just stick on my tech. Let me stick on some technicals. Okay, so this is a 10-20 moving average. Basically, when the blue's over the red, it's a sign of bullish momentum. On the flip, when the red crosses the blue, which, to be fair, hasn't happened yet. It's like it's edging here, but just not happened yet. So this could be the actual top of the stock market, and then we could pull down to like on the VT and fall down to at least here. That'd be a $5 trillion draw out in the stock market, which is fine, right? We could even draw down to here. Like notice there's gaps, okay? For those that don't know, there's a rule in the stock market, and it's that the gaps almost always get filled. So we've got a huge gap here, right? This is the global stock market. All right, S&P 500. We got huge gaps at 6,000. We got huge gaps at 5,700. If I stick on my RSI, which is the relative strength index, we ain't been this high since July 2024 on the daily. On the 3-day, I mean, we could go further, but shit looking like they got to correct a little bit, homie. You know what I mean? From 6,200 down to 6,000, and this will affect all the American stocks like Tesla. Um, uh, I don't want to jump the gun here, but yeah, I've been working with some of my clients, and yeah, we got a crossover here. Two crossovers on the 10-20. We have a look at this on the MACD. Just basically kind of like top signals. I don't mean top signals for the cycle. I mean top signals for the short term, right? Like I think if anybody wants an alert on Tesla, 275. If you don't have any Tesla stock and you want to consider buying some at 275 and again at 250. Those two levels, and then maybe a third level being like 230. Okay, you got to have a plan. The reason why this webinar is so important is because you want to be doing this with multiple assets. Like you want to have a list of 20 good assets where you're like, if they go to this price, I'm gonna buy this much. And if you do that across 20 assets, your buy zone's gonna get hit somewhere, right? Try to be asset agnostic. Be asset agnostic. That means, don't marry into anything. Okay, the timing and the portfolio allocation is more important than the individual asset. Oh, sorry, I got a question here. Why is CNN and Coinbase Fear and Greed Index different? Is CNN all market stocks and crypto? Yeah, the reason why is because CNN mainly measures the stock market. The stock market is soaring right now, where not Coinbase, Coin Market Cap is for crypto only. I hope that helps. That's why you want to always cross-reference data, right? Do not live by Ninja said this, Fadlan said this person said this person said this. Cross-reference, and I definitely make mistakes. Okay, I could be completely wrong about this thesis, but pull back and then off to the races is where my head's at. Okay, let's go through some more macro. Let's have a look at this one here. This is called the SIXRE. This is a very underrated chart. Notice how I got it at the top. If you take away something from that, even though you guys will not be able to, well, most of you guys don't pay for the pro version trading view, which is absolutely fine. I only started paying. I used the free version of trading view for a very long time, actually, a very, very long time. So the only difference is for most of you guys using the free version of trading view, you will just not be able to have as many indicators as me. I can have I mean, as many as I want, but usually 4 to 5. You guys on the free version will only be able to have 2. Okay, so um, understand that, especially for the beginners, all assets are tied together. Money has to flow from one place to the next place. And there is such thing as quantitative easing, money printing. Is there such thing as money burning? Twin, do they burn the money? Do they ever take it out the market?
No.
And no, they just keep adding more. So we just have to be in the flow of money. And right now, everyone here needs to just be in the flow of information, right? Do not miss the opportunity to be well positioned. Yes, I said I think the market's going to go down, right? I think the market's going to go down and give us a buying opportunity. But there's definitely assets. There's assets that you can buy today on buy and hold. And we will get into those assets, but I like to do macro first, right? So you can have the big picture. Okay, so I'll teach you guys how to read these indicators very, very quickly. The 10-20 I already explained to you. When the blue is above the red, it's a sign of bullish momentum, market going up. When the red goes over the blue, it's a sign of bearish momentum. Understand the indicators can be wrong. They are an indicator. This is why you use multiple indicators. And then you can also learn about chart patterns. But I'm not going to teach you guys about chart patterns on this webinar. Indicators are a cheat code. Okay, don't be too lazy. Learn about chart patterns. But yeah, this is a good indicator. Then we got the RSI. Okay, as it goes closer to 30, it's a stronger buy signal. As it gets closer to 70 here, it's a stronger sell signal. Okay, what I can see here is that the SIXRE, sorry, back to markets being timed together. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny if I take off all these indicators? And believe it or not, because I'm an absolute nerd, one of my favorite things to do in life, yeah, this is married man talk, is to compare charts against each other. That's how I have fun in this world. Well, one of the ways, you know. I don't just do that. But isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how these charts line up? This is the global real estate market, which is valued at I think 500 to 600 billion versus the stock market, which is valued at around 140 trillion. So between the stock market and the real estate market, there's like a 4 times difference. But notice how the markets basically move in line with each other. Maybe on not on the exact day, but within the quarters. So they both had the same February high, 2020. They both had the same COVID low at the same time. They both went through the 2021 bull market and, funnily enough, topped at the same time. The stock market bottomed out till October 2023. The real estate market, sorry, my bad. The real estate market bottomed out till October 2023. The stock market, admittedly, bottomed out till October 2022 and then started leading the rally early. The SIXRE has been a bit lagging because guess what? The risk appetite has been in the stock market over real estate. We live in a world where, not financial advice, it's not necessarily unwise to have your net worth in digital assets versus real estate because we don't live in the boom range no more, right? Shit's hyper inflated. Anyway, let's not get too carried away in philosophical financial rants. But isn't it funny, guys? I could stream for 6 hours just comparing charts, but I've done the work, so you guys have to do less. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please tell a friend. You know what I mean? So this is why I look at SIXRE. Now, let's have a look at oil. I do not trade oil. I do not buy oil. I've never made or lost money on oil. I've never touched oil. Why am I looking at oil? Because I'm trying to just have a peep at global sentiment. Right? I'm trying to understand like where's the money in the world. I'm just following the money, the flow of money in the world, right? It's interesting. This is how I get an edge. I'm not saying you guys have to check out oil, right? I'm just I'm just curious. This is where oil was at the start of the year. It crashed here during, I think this is like Iran-Iraq conflict. Yeah. Gold. Okay, so I believe gold has reached all-time highs. Okay, gold has been on an exponential bull run since October 2022. I need you guys to understand this very, very clearly. The amount of money that's in the world that was in gold in October 2022, right? I'm going to compare this to the stock market because eventually the money in that stock market flows over to um, risk on assets. Okay, so October 2022, that was basically bear market lows, right? October 2022, yeah, it's the low of the stock market. I'll even include Bitcoin into this. We get BTC. One sec. Okay, so yeah, October 2022 low, right, right here, right. So as you can see, the stock market climbed, Bitcoin climbed even more. Okay, um, and this here, what you have to understand is the amount of money injected here, right? The amount of money injected here would have taken Bitcoin to top of my head, probably like $1.3 million, right? If the amount of money in gold, I think the market cap of gold is, I think it's like 30 or 50 trillion. Let me double check. Ask Grok. What is the market cap of gold right now in July 2025? Okay, so guys, you really got to pay attention. You really got to pay attention because let's look at what gold did historically, right? And don't believe that it can't do this again. There's a reason why every man and his dog wants to own some gold. Never, ever, ever, ever forget that gold was in a 5-year bear market between the start of the 2010s to the mid of 2010s. Do you understand? Gold declined by nearly 50%. And then it took half a decade to consolidate before this rise. And then between here and here is a 3-year wait. Do you understand? It's not looking good for gold in terms of it's probably not going to do this. It's either going to consolidate or start making lower lows and find a new base. Okay, we could be in a gold bear market for 2 to 3 years. This is possible. This is possible. Do your own research on it, right? And I'm not buying any gold. I will not touch gold till 2,500. If it drops there, that would be a good time to buy gold, maybe like 2027. Okay. Silver is absolutely sending right now. And yeah, this is indication. This is early indications of the change in a risk sentiment, right? So, what has recently gone crazy in the stock market? We've got Circle, the company that owns USDC, did a 4x upon launching in the stock market on the 5th of June. I don't know where I was, but I wasn't in this trade, right? I'm waiting for Circle to go back to maybe like 132. Um, whoa, Apple just did a big jump. That's a lot. All right, cool. Let me skip through some stocks, and then we'll go over to crypto. Let's fucking get it. All right, before I continue, we're 45 minutes into this. Apologies for the profanities, etc. I'm going to continue to record on YouTube for a good half an hour, and then I might even run a session to midnight. Any questions anyone's dying to ask right now that will be beneficial to the replay watchers. No, we're good? All right, cool. We locked in. Let's go. Let's go. Do we have something in the chat? No, nothing in the chat. All right. I hope you guys dialed in. Let's go. All right, so let's go over some assets. Let's go over some assets. I'm gonna just stick all my indicators on. We got the 1020, we got the RSI, we got the MACD. Okay, I won't teach you guys about the MACD and the DMI. I taught about the DMI on the previous stream. Let me whiz through these stocks. The reason why I pay attention to stocks is so I can make the most money in crypto. So I can have that edge, you know? Right. Let's start from the bigger time frames. Okay. So yeah, everything seems good with Apple. Don't know why I'm spending so much time on Apple. Tesla, I'm short term a bit bearish on this stock. I swear I gave the prices before: 275, 250, and 230 are my buy prices for Tesla. Okay, let's go to Meta. This I'm calling. This is probably the top signal for Meta. We've been on a huge run. We've been on a huge run. 50% since the dip. Yeah, the buy price of Meta, first buy price is 612. Next buy price is 556. Next buy price is 506. Yeah, these three zones, they're the prices. Snapchat, nice. We got a nice run. Yeah, my indicators are bullish for Snapchat. Can't lie. Okay, this week we guys really gotta see with regards to Snapchat, right? And I hope even the beginners can understand this. You, you wanna one of one of your investment strategies, which is very popular, is to buy what you perceive, according to your research, an undervalued asset that has set a high that is very high away from. If Snapchat, I'm not saying it will, goes back to this high, this is in line of the previous bull market, right? This high here is like, yeah, probably about 10x from this high. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go there overnight. It could take a year and a half, okay? But it's opportunities like this that you may want to take, because let's say you get in a position here and then you get out here, right? Let's say with $1,000, this is doubling your money, and then you could take your initial. You know what I mean? And then you could ride from here to here, long term, and that's 4.7x. Do the maths. All right, cool. Let's not get stuck on Snapchat. Google is not proven to break this high yet. So if the stock market does take the pullback, which I'm hoping it will be, the first buy price of Google is $140. Next buy price of Google is $121. Next buy price of Google is 101. If you accumulate these zones, if Google gets there, then you'll be A-okay. Okay. All right. I don't want to say my indicators are saying it's going to pull down, but I don't like buying shit expensive. Microsoft, I want to touch that till the price is. Funnily enough, the price I would touch it at is around 420. Hey. Um, then lower than that, 392. Okay, so big ups to the homies. Their names are Cryptosi and Financial Navigator. 1 second. I'm just gonna plug myself real quick because one of the easiest ways you can find them is searching Crypto Waffle Ninja T on YouTube. You don't necessarily have to watch my episode, but it is you can then find the channel with these. Unfortunately, I had half my face cut off on this episode. Anyway, they do a stream every Monday, I think it is. And their latest webinar is where I got this stock from. So it's in the Nasdaq, so it's the top 100 US tech. It is very far from the high, and it's trending very, very nicely to the upside. This high here is in line with the peak of the previous bull market. Isn't that a quinky dinky? And that's 5.3x from that high. So do your own research on this stock. We could go down further, but guess what? Out of all the stocks that I've said, to be fair, Snapchat is in a good buy right now. This is the only other stock that I would say it's at a good level to buy right now. Not saying that it can't go lower. Other great buy alerts for this stock are 55 cents for sure. I don't know if it'll go that low on 70. If we get to 55 cents, if we get to 55 cents and we swing back to the March high, that's a 5.3x. Thank you, Alex Codlin. You're a fucking goat. Make me want to buy some Aurora Innovation right now. Okay, Nvidia is at all-time highs. I want to touch this at all, unless the stock goes down to 123 and 118. Amazon, I won't. If anybody wants to buy it, 193 is a good entry point, and then 176. Okay, Coinbase, right. This is when I knew everybody's falling off in terms of attention. When I called Twin today, and I told him, Twin, you know Coinbase is at all-time highs, and he didn't know.
Oh.
And I was just like, damn, the Matrix got everyone. Because this here was the ultra fear. This was the fears, the fucking fear, the tariffs. Oh my God, what's gonna go on? Is it gonna be World War III? But you see that rise, you see that 2.7x. How is Coinbase at all-time highs, blood? You think that money's not gonna trickle into crypto? Yeah, but maybe Coinbase got to pull down first to 215. 215 is a sensational entry for Coinbase. 267 is an okay entry. I think Coinbase is going to go to $1,000 between now and the end of the bull market, which I'm now more and more and more straying towards this being an extended bull market. I'm talking bullish by the end of Q3 latest, bullish as hell Q4, pull back in Q1, and then another rising in Q2, Q3. And then finally the bear market, maybe the end of 2026 or the start of 2027. Conspiracizing, but every day I come closer to that theory. Okay, PayPal. Yeah, this stock has been compressed for the longest. I think now is a good entry on PayPal, but this is a long-term hold. This rise here, pre-COVID crash, COVID crash rise all the way till most of 2021. This is in line with the previous bull market. This bull market is not really started. It's still not really started because the euphoria, it's been an institutional driven bull market, meaning that it's not had the retail euphoria. Riot, that's another great stock. Crypto mining company. Okay, let's have a look at crypto. So, crypto total market cap, we're just off the highs as of the start of the year. Obviously, there was whole tariffs, fuckery, Israel versus Iran, etc. It's looking good, in my opinion. On the weekly, we've got a 10-20 crossover. On the 3-day, the trend is maintained. I think the crypto total market cap could pull back to 2.64 at the absolute lowest if it gets that bad. But overall, positive. Okay, crypto minus Bitcoin. Minus Bitcoin. This is actually looking like it could pull back to sub $1 trillion. That's absolutely fine. We're still in the accumulation zone, in my opinion. There may even be one more Black Swan event. Do not be surprised if there is one Black Swan event. If there is an event that happens in July, in August, be prepared and be brave, because I admittedly was not brave enough during this low. When I show you certain coins that have gone up disgustingly in this rise, of multi-billions going in crypto, I'm ashamed of myself for not being as locked in as I should be, right? So, crypto total market cap obviously suffering the most because the money has to flow into all of crypto, which is led by Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then into the altcoin market. This is representative of all money in only coins outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if you go to coinmarketcap.com, drink water, guys, drink water. If you look at coinmarketcap.com, we can see out of the $3.3 trillion in crypto, well, 2.4 is in Bitcoin and Ethereum alone. There is less than $1 trillion in altcoins right now. In technical analysis, I forget what it's actually called, but basically, when certain formations are formed, such as this triangular pattern, where we've got an uptrend we've got an uptrend and a downtrend pressing towards each other. It usually leads to pressure in the market that then, at a point of consolidation, forces it towards the upside. I won't go too much into kind of like the quantum finance behind it. Not that I really understand that much, but look, I've been in the markets for 10 years, and this is kind of what happens, right? Do your own research. But I don't know how long this chop's going to last. We could, if we get this bleed down here, also going to bleed a lot. There is a zone that can happen here. But after that, it's off to the races. It's off to the races, my friends. Okay. And this is others. This is everything outside of the top 10. Like everything above or below Cardano, right? For those that don't know what Hyperliquid is, this is the biggest decentralized trading platform in the world. So you can do like futures and stuff just with a wallet. No KYC. Okay, so Bitcoin is at this all-time high now. There's something you want to pay attention to, and that's called the Bitcoin dominance. I'm going to take away all these indicators and just clean up this chart. Right, I'll tell you why your altcoins have not started rising yet. The reason why your altcoins have not started rising yet is because the Bitcoin dominance, i.e. the percentage of the market that's in Bitcoin, that during the bear market was 40% of the market, now it's 65. Until this starts declining, your altcoins will keep bleeding. Why? Because it's in the periods such as the end of 2020 all the way to the end of 2021. This was the bull market because the percentage of money was not in was declining from Bitcoin into Ethereum, into Solana, into Dogecoin, into DOT. The money has been going into BTC. So we need to find a resistance, and I believe that resistance is in the range of either now, soon, or 72%. Like this could climb all the way to 72%, and this could be a grueling 2 months. That's the worst case scenario. Okay. I am end of the quarter bullish. I do not believe we'll close this quarter bearish. This is a perfect time because no one's overly rushed to buy too much, but it's expensive to not pay attention. Does that make sense? It's very, very, very expensive. The moment this starts falling, mark my words, will be when mathematically the altcoins go up. You start seeing crazy rises, right? And we have opportunity to accumulate undervalued assets on a technical and fundamental basis. Okay, so another thing to pay attention to is the ETH BTC chart. This is the price of Bitcoin in Ethereum. Right now, it's 0.02 Bitcoins for one Ethereum. As you can see, Bitcoin is 110K-ish and ETH is 2.6K-ish, which makes sense, right? 2.3% of a Bitcoin is one Ethereum. The reason why altcoins have not gone up is because Bitcoin's been outperforming Ethereum since the top of the bull market. It's cost less and less Bitcoins to buy one Ethereum, but guess what? We're going to bounce up. And this is when the altcoins are going to go up. It's going to happen, in my opinion, right? Not financial advice, do your fucking research. Yeah. Sorry, I'm swearing so much in this webinar. Look at this crossover here. It's about to cross the blue and the red on the weekly. Let's break it down to the 3 days. It's just crossed over. Fantastic. Let me take another indicator on RSI. Okay, RSI here. We've broken the trend and we're literally ready to set a new high on the 3-day. The weekly here, we can see that we're basically breaking out of this downtrend. For those that are unfamiliar with technical analysis or you've not studied it, you may think I'm just doing finger paintings here. But those who've done analysis understand that everything I'm doing here is very rational because these moves, when you study history in the market, guys, the best thing you can do is study history, historical price action, and understand what happened previously, and then tie that in with your thesis of predicting the future, right? I'm right most of the time when it comes to long term, and the longer time horizon, the more right I seem to be. I'm not a day trader, right? But everything is pointing towards the bottom's in, or we're about to trend away from the bottom. It's about to cost more Bitcoins to buy Ethereum. Do you guys understand? When Ethereum shoots back up to 4K, which it will, right? Next chart, Ethereum. ETH will shoot back up to this level here, which it was at the end of 2000. ETH has been 4K and above so many times. You will blink and ETH will be 4K. If you don't pay attention, if you get lost in the source and you spend too much time raving and you take too much MDMA and you just spend too much time paying attention to everything besides financial markets, you will blink and ETH will be 4K and you'll be like, God damn, that was the easiest 54% I could have done in my whole life. Now, can Ethereum draw down to 2000? Yes, it can, which means that if you put all your money in Ethereum today, which you should not do, you could take a 20% drawdown, not a loss, but a drawdown. Okay. But Ethereum has been this high so many times. We are going to get there and higher. I bet my reputation on it in literally sometime this year, right? Let me just be elusive. Let me be elusive. Okay. Now, obviously, we want things that are higher beta. So let me get to the juicy. Assets. You get me? Right, so let's start with virtual. Now, why am I starting with virtual? Because LFP, let's fucking print. This is my watch list for the base ecosystem. What is the base ecosystem? Coinbase have their own Ethereum layer 2, right? A blockchain built on top of Ethereum. You can go to Let me go to the categories. Categories. All right, I'm gonna wrap up in 10 minutes on the Zoom, and then yeah, we'll talk to the man them off stream. Okay, so you can go to the base ecosystem. Fine. Base. Where are you? Oh, here we are. Fantastic. Okay. Coinbase is the only crypto exchange on the American stock market. Not only is it on the American stock market, it's in the Nasdaq, which is the top 100 US tech index fund, where um, the biggest tech giants like Meta and Google make up the index, right? Like a basket of stocks. So you're gonna think logically, if Coinbase have their own decentralized exchange, right? What are the coins on it? Now, the biggest native coin, yes, you can get Shiba, yes, you can get Bonk, yes, you can get SPX on the base chain. But the biggest native token is the fourth one on the list. It's called Virtuals, right? You need to own, is it 100 or 200? In fact, let me ask Grok. How many virtual tokens does one need to own to be able to create AIs on the platform? I think it's 100. Let me check. You need 2,400 virtual. That that's a lot of money. Well, anyway, I don't care about creating the agent. I just want to make money. Um, However, we can see here that from the April lows, we've obviously springboarded quite a bit. That's a 5x. Okay, so the markets are all about making the best decision moving forward, right? Now, this looks like the is about to cross over. Now, why am I so bullish on virtuals? But first of all, let's just let's just look at it from a fundamental analysis. There's multiple types of analysis. There's fundamental, which is understanding the asset. There's technical. There's sentimental. But from a fundamental perspective, we've got an asset with only $1 billion invested in it, and it's the biggest native token on Coinbase's chain. On a technical analysis basis, we can see that the blue is about to cross the red on the daily. Right now, my RSI is showing that the purple has just crossed over the yellow, and we have a good. We're set up to basically spring up, right? Which is 50% from this high. The all-time high was at the start of this year, and we're 2x from this high. Now, what do I like to do? I like to compare charts against each other. So let's do virtuals against ETH. I'll remove everything, so you guys are not confused. I'll delete here. I'll remove everything, so you guys are not confused. Okay. We'll have ETH at the top, virtuals at the bottom. In fact, I'm gonna end the webinar like this, right? I'm gonna leave Ethereum at the top, okay, and I'm gonna compare it to top assets on the base chain. I'm basically I am ultra bullish on the base chain. How can the stock be at all-time highs and no one cares? So I'm just here to compare highs. We'll end the webinar here. Okay, so everyone wants ETH betas, right? Twin wants some ETH betas. So you're gonna look at what can outperform Ethereum, inshallah, but does it follow Ethereum at least somewhat? Can we compare the highs and the lows? Oh shit, my bad. And then we'll end the webinar here. 11th of April. 11th of April. Hi. Hi. Okay. So if you buy Ethereum at today's price, uh, you are what 50, 70% from the high of the start of the year. If you buy virtuals at today's price, and I'm not saying virtuals can't go lower, I would love virtuals at $1.22. I'd love to have virtuals at $1.22. From today's price to the January high, virtuals is a 3x. Are you with me, twin? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds bad still.
Okay. And do these charts line up? Like, not perfectly, but can you see how virtuals is like an ETH beta?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Flower market, are you still locked in? Are you here? No, maybe he's doing something. It's all right. Okay, cool. So that's Ethereum, that's virtuals. Right, now let's look at Aerodrome, right? Which in the base eco, in the base eco, oh shit, where are we?
Yo, sorry, did you call out for me?
Yeah, no, yeah. I just wanted to say is I know you're new to the markets.
Yes.
Is this making sense or is this straight Chinese?
No, no, no. I'm seeing like I'm understanding like the majority of it. There are bits that I do lose track, but
Yeah,
I
of
am
course, of course, of
understanding
course,
the majority. Yeah, don't
of
worry.
course, of course. I wanna try to keep this friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. No, no, it's great. I've been enjoying it so far. Check your messages. But you know,
Get my
it's
message.
been yeah, yeah, no. I was it's been great so far, man. Thank you so much. I'll be definitely
No,
joining like every Sunday I can.
dude, please tell people as well, man. I want to get this Zoom room like jumpy. You know what I mean?
Okay, there might be someone I know.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate that,
Solid,
man.
solid. All right, let me. Nice one.
All right. So look at this aerodrome and Ethereum. What is aerodrome? Okay, so first of all, let me just show you where aerodrome lies. Look, it's a few below, right? But Virgin. Okay, so Shiba, Bonk, SPX are not native to virtual. They're not native to the base chain, so they don't really count. They're on the base chain but not native, right? The net and these tokens here, Pancake Swap Curve. I don't know what syrup is actually, I'll be honest. But I'm assuming and syrup, these three here, right, are not native to base. Well, these two I'm 100% sure are not native to base. This one I am 60 to 70% sure not native. But anyway, Aerodrome, which for now, and I can be wrong, I'm going to assume that this is the second biggest coin on the base chain, right? It provides liquidity. And if you don't know what that is, just do some research. Anyway, we're trying to find things that are going to outperform Ethereum. Now, this is an absolute gem. First of all, chart pattern wise, it's looking bearish, right? It's looking a little bit bearish, which is good because it gives us the buying opportunity. I'm not even opposed at buying Aerodrome at today's price, even though I think it's going to go lower. Why? At today's price, are you ready for this, twin? We're 3.3x from the high at the start of the year,
What?
or end of December.
Well, that's how much we're away.
That's how far we are from the December 2024 high.
Yeah.
And if we get down to 55, 56 cents, that's an easy 4x.
Oh, mad.
Yeah. Easy 4x, not financial advice, but obviously we assume it's going to go higher than where it was.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we have to just think the all-time high is only 1.2 billion, right? Or something. Actually, no, maybe 1.8. Really and truly, if Aerodrome delivers on what it says it fundamentally does, and there's not like a competitor that just takes it over, and this can do like this can do 20x in the long term because that would only be like 10, 20 billion market cap. It's very speculative because obviously new products can come on the scene. You know what I mean? I'm saying, bet your life savings on Aerodrome, but get your position in. Guys, the whole point of multiplying money in crypto or multiplying your stablecoin is to, yes, multiply a stablecoin, but also keep some of the asset. And that's why when you get gold, you can trade in and out, right? So, virtuals and arrow. Now, let's look at Brett. I know it's painful. It's painful being a Brett owner, but if you actually believe in the... So notice here, the high of Ethereum... Actually, you know what? That kind of lines up. Yeah, that kind of lines up. 14th of April, yeah, the low lines up. Round about the same day. And then this high here. Okay, so we can see that as Ethereum has moved sideways, the betas, such as Brett, have been declining. This is fine. This is fine. Why? Because we are... Oh, this is... Oh, Twin, you're going to love this one. Brett is 6x from the end of 2024 high.
Yeah, that's official still. That's official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Brett is the biggest meme coin on base. And it's the third biggest coin on base. The third biggest.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm telling you guys, the top 3 coins on the base chain, I'm going to say it again for people watching the recording. The base chain is owned by Coinbase, which is the only crypto exchange on the stock exchange. It's not just on the stock exchange, it's on the American stock exchange. It's not just on the American stock exchange, it's in the NASDAQ, the top 100 US tech. The same index funds that has tens of trillions of dollars flowing in and out of it, along with the big tech giants. I'm telling you the biggest coins on the base chain. Virtuals, Arrow, and Brett. Notice how Virtuals is 3x from the high. Arrow, 3.3x from the high. Brett, what's that? 5-6x from the high. Then, oh, this is... Oh, no, this is getting... No, it's getting too good, Twin. Yeah? AIXBT. Who the hell is AIXBT? All right. You got to get Twitter and you got to follow the frog. I'm going to end it here. End it here. Very soon. So, AIXBT. Yeah? He is the most successful AI to come out of virtuals. So virtuals, the biggest native-based chain coin by market cap, which is how much money is invested in the asset, currently sitting at $1 billion. AIXBT, I think the market cap is... This might be one of the greatest calls I ever do in human history right now. Like, I started off with the macro. I gave the fundamental news. This is why the best information is at the very end of the webinar, right? Because I just want to drip people with TikTok brain. Oh my God, the market cap is only 127 million. There is a website you can go to wrap up real soon called cookie.fun. 1 second. Salman, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you, bro. I'm just trying to think how I'm going to allocate this next up.
All right, 1 sec, 1 sec. Wait. Okay, I don't know why it's taking so long to load. Basically, cookie.fun shows you like the global mindshare of public crypto conversations across different social media platforms, and basically saying that AI XBT in people's minds. Yeah, this AI basically just tweets loads of good information. You can even tweet to the Twitter, and sometimes it responds. But understand that it probably gets thousands of people trying to tweet out every day. So anyway, yeah, AIXBT, which I believe is the fourth biggest coin. The fourth biggest coin on what do you call it? On base. So you can tell I can get tired. And this is 7x from all-time high. So I'll give you guys 4 coins. And it would be fantastic if we got a buy opportunity of 10 cents, which would be a 30% drawdown at today's price. If this gets to 10 cents, just back to all-time high, and bear in mind, we can go 10x higher than the previous high. I'm not saying we will, but we can. This is only $1 billion. It's only $1 billion. In a market that can go to $10 trillion, in which even 10 billion, right, which would be a 10x from this high, is only 1%. Sorry, not 1%, 0.1% of the market. Woo! Make sure you accumulate, guys. All right, before I stop this recording, Carmen Salman, is there anything you'd like to ask me on recording? Obviously, you can ask me off recording also. But is there anything that you think would be valuable for the replay to ask on the recording?
You kind of broke down everything that man you need to know, to be fair.
There's a special one in it. There's a reason why I called you in this one, in it.
Facts. That shoot. When do you estimate that when do you think that things will start to kick off?
Okay, if I look into my crystal ball, which has errors, if I was really to guess, I would say bearish July and bottoming out latest like 5th to the 10th of August, and then after that we start rising.
Okay.
Based on everything I know and can predict right now. But I'm positioned well enough where if everything starts sending, it's just like, right, cool, at least I'm gonna get enough exposure on that pump. But it's like the stocks are too high. It's like everything's too high for it not to take a pullback a little bit first. And then I can imagine we take this pullback and then we hit a good bottom, yeah, with prices which I said for all these assets, all magically hit this price, and then all of a sudden all the marketing begins for crypto, and then everyone starts getting interested in crypto and piling in, you know what I mean? As the markets start rising.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to make sure that man has the assets on the watch list. Like, you should be watching these assets like you scroll on social media. Does that make sense? And you don't even need to check them multiple times a day. You need to check once a day. Once a day, twin. You don't need to look at the 1 hour time frame. You don't have to look at the 5 minutes. We're not trying to trade these things. It's just we're waiting for good assets to get to good prices. Twin, if you're watching 20 assets, do you think 0 of them are going to go down to the good price? It's not possible, is it?
No.
Something's going to get to the good price.
Yeah.
So then you just got to be ready in it. So you're not even surprised. You're just like, oh yeah, I was waiting for that. That's what we got to be like. Yo, I was waiting for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, almost all of us missed them disgusting lows. You know what I mean? Like, there's a meme coin. In fact, I'll keep recording. There's a meme coin that I really, really like. It's called Dolan. Yeah. Now, people slay this coin because it's like, oh, Luke Belmore works with them, and then it's not doing the thing. It's not doing the thing. Well, I just did a whole 90-minute webinar on macro on why things have not started really rising. But I should have been very, I should have been way more bullish. I should have been way more bullish here at this. Let me tell you what the market cap went to. Twin, it went to 1.3 million, twin. It went
Hmm?
to 1.6 million market cap. And from this bounce to this high, that was a 6x, twin.
What the?
Yeah, exactly. Because the market went from 1.9 million to 11 million. Yeah, that's like 6, 7x. That's why it's important to math. Like, it's just maths, isn't it? It's just maths.
Yeah.
Like, those who are brave can get the bounce. But now, to
Yeah.
get the same multiple, it's got to go to 30 mil, which is still reasonable, but it's harder.
Yeah.
It's a bigger journey to go from here to here than from here to here. But the multiple's the same. We have to be ready for, like, bro. I'm like, please don't go down to 3.3 mil, please. Please, because the journey from here, from 3.3 million here, bro, that's a 4x jump, bro. Just from here to here. Bro, that's 4x clean, bro. And don't even get me started. Like, imagine, yeah. Let me just put this out here. Imagine Dolan goes to 3 million, right? And you size in and you hold that shit to 12 mil. Let's say you take out double. Yeah, let's just do it on 1K. Yeah, this is not financial advice, but let's see, you do it with like 1K, and then you exit here, and then you keep 2K in Dolan, right, or $200, whatever, and then you actually ride the shit back to all-time highs. Obviously, it's gonna be a brutal journey. Yeah. Now, all-time highs, like that's like 8x from like here to here. 8x journey, crazy.
Mad.
You just got to do the maths. You got to do the maths and then just remove the emotions and then be like, I've got a plan and I'm going to stick to this plan. I've said to myself, my buy market cap for Dolan is like 3.5 mil. And then if we're ever blessed with that 2 million zone, I'm so bullish you would not believe. And as long as I can make money on the rise and take my initial and bit of profit, I believe in the duck. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you should believe in the duck. Like, apply this to anything else, but it's not like this God candle can't happen again. Remember this euphoria. September 2024, Bitcoin's like 60K, and then this is the rise of like Bitcoin going from like 60 to 100 in these wicks. This is just an exacerbated version of the global markets in a meme coin, in a duck. You know what I mean? Everything's tied together. You just have to be positioned well at the right time, innit? Don't lose faith, twin. Things are turning around, but just not overnight.
Hey.
All right, Salman. Any questions from you, big man?
Not
Obviously,
on
we'll be
the
recorded.
no, no, but I'll wait till we come off.
Oh, going off recording, yeah. All right, okay.